Your imagination.
This is the second time we've ever played in front of people, man. We're scared shitless.
Do you love me too?
The ultimate aim is to produce sound which is completely acceptable to the listener. Records that give you pleasure.
Ready to go. I got everything set up on the back end. We're doing real-time corruptions for Joust for the Atari 7800. I chose not to do an earlier version of the Atari. I think they had one for the 2800. They also had Joust for the NES. I went for just sort of a newer version since we haven't really corrupted for the 7800 yet, and we get a couple new memory domains associated with it. Those are all listed on this panel here. And yeah, we'll get started in just about a minute here. I'm just doing a couple more checks and we'll be all set. Alright, and with the Atari, along with NES, and what we were doing last night, we were doing GameCube corruptions. We have no music, so I'm going to do a bit of background music on top of what we got. I just got to figure out what kind of background music we want. I usually resort to Animal Crossing since it's good, like, mellow music for the background. I think I'm going to stick with that. I can also do Luigi's Mansion or something like that, but for the time being, let's do Animal Crossing. We'll keep that kind of low, so it's not too abrasive. Okay, so starting off, let's just play a little bit. If you're ever familiar with Joust, it's one of my favorite older games. My favorite arcade cabinet was the Joust cabinet, and I haven't played it in so long, because you usually have to emulate it if you're going to get a copy of it. You might be able to find it in an old arcade if they still have it, but it's best played in an arcade. The idea is you fly this flying ostrich and you can kind of move around the screen and you're trying to take out the enemy ones that appear here. Any of these red guys. And whenever you kill one of them, they drop an egg, and that egg will land on the ground. You have to be sure to collect it before the egg hatches and delivers another one of these guys. And yeah, that's the idea behind it. Something I found off the bat, though, with my preliminary, is that it corrupts extremely well. I just wanted to fire there. It corrupts extremely well, which we're going to find out. So, I have save state here already set. We're going to do a couple testing procedures that I normally go about at the very beginning. Also, what's going on, Wasabi Tonic? Good to see you. Give you a Wasabi hello there. So we have a couple of these memory domains. We're going to uncheck all the ones that we're not using, and at first we're just going to mess with the main RAM, the very top one here. Since we're on the Atari 7800, we have sort of a low intensity or a low ability to corrupt. We can't do very large intensity memory writes. So we'll stick with 20 and manually blast the ROM with that. You'll see some visuals kind of get destroyed. Some stuff on screen goes wrong. It sounds like it paused, but we can't load it back. Let's go about that again. I'm going to adjust the save state to be after that sound goes off, so it's right here actually. And we're getting decent visual corruptions off the bat, so do a little bit more there. Also some mechanical ones, like the Ostrich is going off without me controlling it there. I have no control of the Ostrich. It's just running off to the side. It's actually trying to break now. That's not a bad window. Here. We got... Adjust that properly, there we go. And reload. Oh, it didn't save my score. I streamed I didn't stream it, I tested it before I streamed. I had a decent score, it wasn't an amazing one, but I was proud of it. Because I usually don't get past wave 5 or 6. Lava and water change colors. Buzzard bait. Maybe using my check to turn it off. There's something weird attached to the back of this buzzard. I want to attack it if I can. There we go. Okay. Nothing weird, just a bit of a visual tacked on the end. Oh, before I forget, I need to real quick put out a notification. Just out of streaming. Actually, doing that right on this screen would be great. Let's do that. Okay. There we go, that's all set. And let's load back into the game. Seems like the speed is up a little bit. No, it's actually normal. So that's all main RAM. Some visual corruptions, some mechanical corruptions, and not really a lot of sound ones. I noticed with the TIA registers, the next memory domain, we get a lot of sound corruptions. The higher intensity. I should pause the music since it's not really fitting, but... all the different tones you can imagine the game is able to produce, all within the TIA registers. Maria registers, I don't even know what these are, but seem to produce colors. Real quick before I continue this corruption, if you're sensitive to flashing lights or bright images or loud sounds, we're gonna have a lot of those on this stream. You can already sort of see that we're having a little bit right now, so be cautious of that. If you're sensitive to that type of material, I would avoid watching the stream if you could. This is a neat looking one though. Pretty colors. If we do a lower intensity, we might be able to make it look a little bit better. Sound corruption there too. Also, it's still kind of playable. I'm moving the character around. I don't know where he is, but every time I hit a key, it is responding. So there's stuff going on there. Moving on, we have 6532 RAM. Not sure what that corresponds to. I can't tell. I have auto corrupt on, so it should be corrupting 630 bytes every iteration step, which is set to 1 right now. And with that enabled, I'm not seeing anything kind of odd going on the screen, so I don't think that we can... Either there's nothing used on that RAM, or it's not being used in the sense that we can corrupt it, so we'll leave that one alone. Then we have RAM block 0. Should be more visuals. Prepare to joust. Buzzard bane. This is one of our kind of neat visuals with that. Try intensity of 50. Kicks us back to the loading screen. Got the pterodactyl on screen. Ooh. And the pterodactyl freaking out. Destroyed one of the platforms. So, more mechanical than anything. We get a lot of mechanical corruptions with this memory domain, which is neat. Oh, we also slowed down the emulation. Very cool. Okay, moving on, we have RAM block 0. We can probably expect the same results, or similar results at least. Hey, look at that. Got sprites stacked on us. Also, it looks kind of snowy because all the blue on top of the tiles. You can color up Joust, which is kind of cool. Make your own color scheme for it. Oh, okay. So you can get a flashing effect if you just repeat it. There's that sensitive to flashing lights warning. Definitely being needed. Set our intensity to 1000, which is kind of a lot, but... Oh yeah, just the intensity of the flash. Okay, neat. And lastly we have system bus, which is all the system hardware, so you get more kind of random results with that. There we go. Intensity is still at 1000. Got very fast buzzards. kind of having fun just messing with it without even glitch harvesting, which we'll do in a second. Two. We're spelling out small words. Here. Throw that on the window too. Okay. I think that's a good number of testing to do. So now we have an idea of what most of these domains do and what we can expect if we corrupt them. So with that preliminary testing, we can now start harvesting the glitches. And that's sort of the most important part of the stream, or what we do for the majority of it, where we throw certain types of corruptions onto a stockpile, and we release that stockpile for people to play after the fact. So we're going to start off with the main RAM, since that was the first memory domain we messed with. And instead of being able to corrupt the ROM or the emulation in real time, we only get one shot at actually corrupting it. So we get sort of one blast, and we have to see the save state that we correct, or that we create after that, and see if we want to keep it or not. So we're going to give that a go here by hitting this blast send button within the Windows Glitch Harvester. I need to create a save state though. Let me do that real quick. Alright, there's your save state, and now blast send. Intensity of 1,000 is probably too much. Let's knock it down to like 40. And as we've already seen, we do see some stuff on screen that's sort of corrupted that we may want to keep. This one specifically isn't too interesting and I don't want to keep it, but you will notice that the stash history starts getting populated with items. These are just the same save states that we've already applied to, with a number of memory rights applied to them like this. So we'll give that a go a couple more times until we find something we like looking at. This one we got kind of earlier, where everything was sort of fast. Let's save this one as at least the first one to begin at. So the current corruption we're looking at is in the stash history. It's this bottom item here. We can open this within the blast editor, and within the blast editor, this is every single memory right. Oh, that's kind of hidden by the alerts. Can I make that look any better? Let's put the events down there. Will this be a Smash stage? That's a really good question. I would love to see this in Smash. Alright, there we go. That's our windows. Now with all these memory rights, only one, maybe two of these actually contain the corruption that we're looking for. That scared me. Thank you, Subtonic, for the host. I was thinking with this game, there's some neat little sound corruptions that I would want to maybe change that notification sound. I don't know, I'll see about it. You know, we'll adjust it a couple times. But I like the Game Boy corrupted sound. Anyway, so we're going to start disabling these memory rights and just finding the one that we're looking for. So in this case, I randomly disabled 50% of them, and everyone on the screen is still fast, so I can hit the remove disable button and continue in that fashion. They're slow in this case, so I can invert the ones I disabled, load it again. They're all fast. And we're going to keep doing that until we just have a single memory right. And there's a single memory right now. So when we write the value CD to F57 within main RAM, we get really fast characters on screen. And if I'm guessing, I can probably adjust that parameter value to be a higher amount, so say FF, which is 255 in hexadecimal. Load that corruption, and I imagine this is like max speed. Can't go any faster than this. Conversely, if we change this over to 0, we'll be at normal playing speed. Actually, it's a little bit slower, I feel like. Or we can do something like 5-0 and be a moderate speed. So since we want speed, let's keep it at... CD was a fairly good amount, so let's keep it at that. And we'll send that to our stash, and we'll throw it on the stockpile as the first corruption of the evening. We'll call it Speed Ostrich. And my window there is kind of hiding it, so let's drop that down. and you'll now see this first item within the stockpile manager. If we wanted to load that corruption, we would just need to click on it. And if you download the stockpile, all you would have to do is click on it, and it would load it for you. And we can also re-roll this corruption from the stockpile manager directly by changing the parameter values that we send to get different results every time around. And we'll utilize that a little bit later on when we don't want to change the parameter value directly. We can just rely on randomness in order to change that value for us. But we're all ready to move on to the next one, so we can clear out our stash history and hit blast send now. This will be a brand new corruption, and we're again looking for something that we're interested in keeping. Nothing on here piques my interest. The sound is gone on this one and actually crashes after a couple seconds. Let's up the intensity to maybe 100. Give that a go. Again, everyone's super fast, but nothing else I'm going to keep there. We're going to see a lot of these screens. I don't know if I want to keep any of these. Maybe if it is playable, then I will. This one is playable actually, but it's just too much sort of garbage on the screen to keep it. Cool looking though. This one has sort of a neat flicker effect. Let's see if we can keep that. So it's a single memory write. Unfortunately, it does crash it, so I may not want to keep this effect. We can still send it to the stash and try re-rolling it. It seems no matter what, this flicker effect crashes the emulation, which we don't want, so we're going to move on. If we're going to be saving it in the stockpile, we at least want it to be able to... This one, the pterodactyl's a little early. Nailed it. So in order to kill the pterodactyl, you have to lance it right in the tongue, which is extremely difficult if you don't have the right positioning. But yeah, I got it there. That's actually, I think, the first time I've ever gotten it. Okay, moving on. That's kind of neat. I like that sort of text there on the middle of the screen. Let's keep that. There's a single memory right with that sort of text going on there. Let's throw that on the stockpile. We'll call it, ooh, what is that called? It's not an Oasis, it's an Oracle. Oracle text. And let's try re-rolling that, sending different values to that source address. Sometimes we get an effect, like there's a little bit there, but it's not sort of adjusting itself. There's another one. Just spelling out a word, but it doesn't constantly adjust itself like this one. Shoot, there's a lot of these ones I want to save. Like, I'd love to use this as a notification icon as well. It just looks corrupted, which is neat. I may go back in the stockpile and save it, so I'll put a note for this. May save as notification image. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. There's nothing else to re-roll there. We got sort of the same effect all the way around. We can now blast send. We got numbers down at the bottom, but nothing I want to keep there. This one, the Ostrich constantly runs. And you can't make it stop. You're trying to break here. And the score is extremely high. Let's get the constantly running Ostrich, I like that. I'm also going to adjust the save state so we have all the buzzards spawn. So we don't keep hearing that over and over again. Alright, send that to the stash, throw it on the stockpile, and we'll call it Ostrich run. And now I'm gonna load my save state and get ready to make another one. There's another one. So now we don't keep getting that same audio over and over again. Well, there we go. Okay. That doesn't affect our existing corruptions and where that save state is targeted. It's just another jump state. Alright, moving on. We can try re-rolling that now. I don't see any other effect though, that's about it. So let's move on. We're gonna blast sign once again. Not too much here. So we phase through these tiles, but nothing else. He has a pterodactyl attached to him. It kind of reminds me of Santa and like his sleigh and all the reindeer attached to him. Let's save that. Since we're creating sort of hybrid corruptions, we can throw a bunch of these together. So that one in itself might not be too interesting, but when you throw it together with something else, it might be nice to look at. So we can send that to our stash. We'll call it, I need to know how to spell pterodactyl, which I have no clue about. I know about the silent P, but here we go. Oh, from there, it's just mostly sounding it out. Alright. Pterodactyl, right, I guess? That kind of works. Alright. This one we get more text up at the top there, which I really like. Let's try to save that. Only for a few seconds, it isn't permanent, but we can see about making it permanent. Oh, unfortunately, maybe a hybrid corruption. Since it is in this half, and it isn't in this half, but it is in both halves. Only momentarily too, we may not be able to keep that, now that I think about it. Can you make an Atari sound more corrupted than it already is? Oh, guarantee it. Here, listen to this. TIA registers, 1000 intensity, auto corruption. I think I want to use this as a notification sound. I'll see about doing that, because that does really well. This specific one though, I don't think I can keep it. We can try re-rolling it. Nah. I want like a bunch of text scrolling on screen if possible. Sounds like a good loading screen. True that. I can put that in between. An intermission screen at least. Alright. Ooh. Wrong register. Nope. There we go. Nope. Alright. Oh god. Oh, our intensity's 1000, that's why. Knock it down to 100 again. Were we doing 100? That seems too high. 50. There's another pterodactyl one. I think this is really similar to the other one we have. This one's actually longer though. But I think the pterodactyl, no, it's facing the same way. I want to keep this one because it's shorter. It's just not as intense. Ah, but I do want to keep that one, whatever that is. I don't know what that is. It looks like a bunch of... Oh, I know what it is. If you look at it, it's the... I don't know if you've ever played Joust before, but it's all the different types of Joust enemies you can have. So there's the White Hunter and the Red, I forgot what the red guy's name is. So it's all just that palette. And also the directions of that palette. So they're facing one way or they're facing the other. All attached to the guy. That's kind of cool, let's keep that. buzzard palette, I guess. That kind of works. To the stash, to the stockpile, buzzard palette. Okay. Reroll. Oh, we can change the colors of them. This one I think is a little bit better because it doesn't go off really far, which I want to kind of keep it minimalist if I can. So let's keep this one instead. Buzzard palette. And delete this one. And reroll a couple more times to see what else we can get. Different colors, different lengths. Nothing else that piques my interest though. Alright. From the top. And there's the third guy with the third corruption that I'd like to keep. This is another pterodactyl one. And I'm just going to combine all these three when I get a moment. I unfortunately still haven't set up hotkeys for the real-time corruptor. It would make at least going through this blast editor much faster. But I forget. Alright, single memory, throw it on the stash, on the stockpile. We'll call it third buzzard. Now we're going to combine this one, and this one, and this one. All these three together. Merge the stash keys. It's now in the stash history. Again, we can throw it on the stockpile, and we'll call it Palette Nightmare. I guess kind of works with that. And we remove the three existing ones from the stockpile, make a little more room. Now we have a nice hybrid corruption. Oh, even the guy that returns still has the corrupted buzzard. And I just want to double check if the enemies after this have the same effect. If they don't, which they don't, yeah, they don't. We could try, I'm not sure if this will work. So right now they're blast bites within memory, in the sense that it only temporarily changes the value within memory, and as soon as that changes to something else, it goes back to normal. We can switch these blast unit types to maybe be blast cheats, using Hell Genie engine, or aka the cheat engine, which will permanently force the value in memory to hold the one that we sent it. So let's give that a try. I want to see if killing him again will keep that sprites after the fact. Okay, let's see. And it does. That's fantastic. So the buzzards that were just in those locations, now they permanently have that effect attached to them. The fourth buzzard we unfortunately didn't see because we don't have an effect that applies to that guy yet. Yeah, that's okay. I don't want to create another save state just to try to do that. So cool. We have a persistent effect. We can now send this new blast cheat type corruption to the stash and throw it on the stockpile. And for the time being, we'll still call it Palette Nightmare until we can think of a better name for it, and once we have a couple more effects for it as well. But Palette Nightmare works for the time being. And just to check, we can also re-roll this, get different effects out of it. Very neat looking. Alright, clearing the history and starting from the top. I want to keep one of these where the, what would you call it, the platforms have a color applied to them. And I think this one works kind of well. It has a shadow effect, or a snow effect to it, which I like. Alright, send that to the stash. We'll just call it blue platforms for now. And move on. We can also re-roll that, of course, get different colors out of it. Green would be a nice one too. How about we just do green platforms? We may mix these with other various corruptions here and there, so it's good to have a variety. Maybe one more. How about pink? Works for me. And we'll call it pink platforms. And these are sort of just like tasters that we can combine with various other corruptions that we've created. Alright. Clearing the history and blasting and sending a new one. I almost want to keep all the ones with this like little text on screen and save it in one ultimate one. With that Oracle one maybe. I don't know how interesting that would be or if it'd be fun to play, but I think it would look interesting. I would hope it would look interesting. We'll see, I guess. We'll just name these very generically, like text on screen 1. And we can re-roll that if we want, but oh, I kind of like the 2 better. Oh, and it rolls! Ah, I love it. Alright, let's keep that. Text on screen 1. I always wonder if some of these drawings on screen actually pertain to something. So like this might pertain maybe to a location that's being drawn on the screen. And maybe it's the player location, because you see how right now it's normal. Totally nothing's happening. And as soon as we move, that goes all out of whack. And we can probably, I imagine, return back to our original position and go back to normal. Yeah, this is totally the player's location. Look at that. How neat. That's awesome, actually. Again, it's not too interesting if you would throw it on a stockpile, because, you know, it's not funny, but it's kind of cool to see that you can keep track of that. I'm curious if vertical height is tracking in that as well. Nope, just horizontal height. You'll see how it's still just TU mostly. And we're just going vertically. Very neat. And I think it's only the player location, not the buzzard location. So as soon as we take damage, the buzzard runs off and that value isn't adjusted. I'm also curious why some of the numbers are represented by images. Maybe those images just have an association. No, it's very neat. I'm very happy we had that in the end. Try a couple more rerolls. This one is on screen, but it doesn't keep track of anything. So, I'm going to clear out the what? Oh, it keeps track of the player score. I think. Let's get one more damage, just to be sure. Yeah. Only 2 digits of it, though. So, double precision. Alright. Clearing history, blasting and sending a new one. This one is more text on screen I'd like to keep. So let's keep it. Alright, sending it to the stash. The stockpile, calling it text on screen 2. And I want to make a note on text on screen 1. This variable pertains to player location. And we can re-roll this to get different effects on screen. I want one that almost spells something out if I can. Although I may be rolling here for a long time in order to get that. Ah, there's one. Team Nogala. If I ever need a team name, Nogla. It has been decided. Alright, let's save this one instead. Text on screen 2. Unfortunately with these, we can't save, say, both this one and this one, because they're at the same source address, so in order to write one, we have to write at that source address one parameter value or the other. We can't write both. So I have to remove the old one, but I'm much happier with Team Gala. Nogala. Go Team Nogala. Alright. moving on. Cooling history. I'm curious if we can adjust this value at all. So right now it's 98. What happens if we do 99? Just garbage. Alright, 98 is the magic word. Let's move on. This one, the guy's off his buzzard, which is kind of interesting, but as soon as you touch the ground, it resets. We could use Cheat Engine in order to make that a permanent effect, but it's not that interesting in itself, so let's move on. Text at the top left, do we want to keep that? Yeah. We might be able to roll into something interesting, hopefully. Alright, single memory stash. Text on screen 3. Reroll. And no matter what, that is 3U7. No matter what parameter value we send. So we'll keep it as 3U7. It does disappear after a while. Oh no, it never disappears. It disappears when we die. And, well, for that reason, let's try Blast Cheat. See if we make it permanent. Yep, Blast Cheat works. So we're gonna send that to the stash and replace this. Text on screen 3. And remove the old one. And so far, let's take a look at what we got for these 3. This is the text we got. We'll call it text on screen series. Remove these 3. Unfortunately, I don't think... Yeah. So, I wish the notes would carry over. So you know how... This one we have a note. This item within the stash... the stockpile. And it says the variable pertains to player location. I want to memorize that this is 1BB13. In the text on screen series, I need to look for that 1BB13. And I wish this note that was attached on the blast editor would transfer over from the original note, but it doesn't. So now you need to manually add that note in case someone's curious. And send that to the stash and throw that on the stockpile. So now my note isn't destroyed. Like, I know probably will know when we'll look in there, but in case they do, it's there. Alright, and we have our 3 screens so far. I was wondering what would happen when we game overed. Got a little bit of stuff on screen. That's probably some of the ones that we forced to be blast cheats, and they didn't reset after the screen wiped. Yeah, alright, moving on. Blast send. That's a very colorful. Is that the pterodactyl? I think it is. It is. Very colorful pterodactyl. Let's save that one while we can. I think we can probably throw this one into Palette Nightmare. Oh, I think we... Oh, unfortunately we removed the effect of that. So it needs to have that sort of sprite mess up effect. That one. And this one does not have that effect, but the pterodactyl is on screen, so we need to adjust it. It also looks like the pterodactyl falls out of the sky every once in a while, which is hilarious. Yeah, there he goes. Falls right out of the sky. So it's hard to preserve this effect. So I'm going to try manually adding some of these in and figure out which one, this one right here, pertains to what we're looking for. So now we can remove some of these and move through this a lot faster. Since we're looking for two effects, one where the pterodactyl is on screen, and the second one was where his texture's messed up. So there we go. That's the effect we're looking for. Alright. 2 memory writes. We call this one the texture effect. And send that to the stash. Did it crash after a couple seconds? No, I paused it by accident. Alright, throw it on the stockpile and we'll call it Pterodactyl Flash. And we can try re-rolling that. Get different effects with the pterodactyl. What sort of sprites it takes in. I think I'm happy with the one we have. Actually, you know what? This one looks kind of better. He also kind of always freaks out and falls to the ground, which is funny. Let's keep this one. Pterodactyl Flash. Remove the old one. And let's move on with a brand new fresh corruption from the top. Here we have text there again. Is that the same as our existing? No, actually. Oh, that's right, we had Oracle text. Is that the same as this? It is. I don't know which I like better, though, now that I think about it. This one has all the flashes. It doesn't actually contain the text. This one has more text. I think it's just shortened, though. Let's save these two together since we forgot about that. Merge stash keys. Throw on stockpile, call text on screen series. Remove the old one. And the old Oracle text. And now I'm curious. Okay, the note's saved, luckily. I forgot which one was which, but we have the only one that matters is the play location one, because that was kind of interesting to keep. Wait, one of these writes over. What happened there? Something happened that was wrong. The player location looks like it freezes. Let's make sure... Is that El Genie? That's not. Let's switch that to El Genie. Okay, now it seems to be a permanent effect. After a couple seconds I noticed that that screen sort of froze up. Oh, it did it again though. There might be nothing we can do about that, unfortunately. Oh well. This one seems to last a little bit longer, so we'll call this text on screen series once again. Move the old one. Alright. Now we can move on. Kind of cool, like phaser looking effect. On the screen there, down there at the bottom. Can we keep that? Oh, my voice is dying. I think I've talked too much today. I don't know what that is. It almost looks like it's like updating, or no, it's a palette of one of the writers, I think. The one I just killed. Okay. Well, I don't want to beat that. That's a little confusing. So let's move on. So we have a palette swap, which is kind of neat. Let's keep this. Put this one in palette timer. Alright, single memory right. Throw on stash cards, player palette. Combine it with Palette Nightmare. Merge. And throw in stockpile. Alright. Moving on. Oh, does that need to be permanent? Let's see. I die. Okay, I need to make that permanent too. Blast cheat. Set a stash. And Palette Nightmare. Alright. That's a cool effect. That's not even the platforms, that's everything. Then again, I don't know if I would like any of the colors. This one's kind of neat. Let's keep this. This one we can throw on the Nightmare. So many birds, right? So many birds, it's a nightmare. It's like that movie, The Birds. Is that the name of it? The horror movie about birds, which is super old, but quality. We'll call it purple platform. Very purple today. The real-time corruptor's purple. Purple platforms. Purple event text. I'll put this in Palette Nightmare, combine the stash keys, load the emulation, throw this on top. Palette Nightmare. There we go. Remove the old ones. Oh, our bird's even flat. Look at that. Alright. Moving along. Player palette we can remove. Pterodactyl flash. We could probably put this with Palette Nightmare, can we? Yeah. It's an added bonus. What I don't like is that the pterodactyl sort of falls and freaks out. But I think it's fitting. Let's keep it. We'll still keep the pterodactyl flash on here, though. No need to remove it yet. Alright, clearing history, blasting and setting a new one. We saw the oracle text again. Some text on here. Let's keep the alphabet that's at the bottom left. Which is actually just the bridge. That's funny. Maybe it burns. Eventually the bridge burns once you get to a certain phase. It'd be funny if that had to do with letters. Like it was iterating through a list or something like that. Alright, we'll call this bridge letters. I don't know if naming these matter, because we're just going to immediately merge the stash keys. In fact, I don't even know if we need to... We don't need to throw it on the stockpile for that reason. We could just merge it directly from the stash history, I think. Oh. Text on screen. Text on screen series. Got more letters, awesome. Bridge letters we can remove. Clear the history. Oh, we didn't re-roll that one. Oh well. Thumbs up. Looking for something that piques my interest that we haven't seen before. We've seen a lot of this before. We could put that game is over, but I think that's tied to the game actually being over, not just a drawing on screen. Oh no! Oh wow, it actually is just drawn to the screen without it being tied to the game actually being over. That's kind of neat. I think that's going to be in the way of some of our existing corruptions though, because it's right in the center. We can try it though, so there's a single memory right there on the stash. And let's try combining it directly like this. Oh, we can. Or no, we can't. It doesn't let us do that. It needs to be on the stockpile first, so. That game is over. Combine it with the text on screen. Oh, it does fit. Actually, pretty well, too. To merge that, throw that on screen. Text on screen series. I'd almost like to keep that as well. That game is over notification text. Because we can also throw that with something else to make it funny, I think. So let's keep it there for now. Just in case. Pterodactyl flash, I'm going to remove. I don't think we can mix that with anything else. And for the text on the screen series, we should probably put a color here. Let's do blue for that one. So merge those. Throw that on the stockpile. Text on screen series. And we can remove blue platforms because we don't need that anymore. Alright. Moving along, we can clear our history and blast end. This one we just start flying. Oh, it's like a demo mode. There's our Oracle text again. This one looks like the middle guy was flying backwards for a sec, but not for a minute. Some like neat script on the bottom. Let's keep that. Okay, see I'm right. On stash, call it script. Combine, merge. That's not too abrasive, I don't think. That should be right. Text on screen series. We can re-roll if that game is over. Oh no, not that one. Yeah, that game is over. No gladiator. There's a new one. Let's throw that on the stockpile. We can't combine that with text on screen series since it's the same source address. So we can say no gladiator. Three ood gladiator? Is that supposed to be good gladiator? Oh, 3,000 gladiator. Oh. Prepare to joust. Points awarded. Survival. These are all like the points that we get. What's that last one? P. Terry wave. I don't know what that's supposed to be. More like Scary Terry. Can make that permanent. We can. I don't know what P. Terry wave means, but let's keep that. P. Terry wave. Prepare joust. Survival. No team. I don't know if I'm gonna combine these with anything. I just want to keep them there. Got flash one there. Got a lot in our stash history. I don't want to keep that. Alright, moving on. Let's keep... let's just assign these. So no team platform get put together. Green platform. We'll call this no team green. We can remove green platforms and no team. And we'll put P-Terry with pink. We'll call it pink P-Terry. Just to sort of make some space. We don't need all these components. Script we can remove. That game is over. I'm gonna still hold on to, because I feel like that would mix well with something. No gladiator, I think we can remove that one. Okay, moving along. This red one, actually, this kind of looks nice. It's like blood rock. I really like shadow corruptions. It's my weakness. And it's all like the black shadows are changed colors. Alright. On the stash. Stockpile. Blood rock. Yeah, we can combine that with, let's do... Palette Nightmare already has one. Text on Screen doesn't. Let's combine those two together. Palette Nightmare. No, text on screen. Okay. Bloodwalker you can remove. And move along. Just get attacked off the bat. I think we may start moving on from this memory domain. Although I did see a text one I want to keep there. There's some more numbers we can keep for our text on screen series, which is getting pretty full. We have a lot on our text on screen series, which we'll also eventually rename. This one, I hope this... Is this really associated with the crash? By having numbers there, the game crashes. So we're not going to keep this one, unfortunately. We can try re-rolling it though. Send to the stash. Re-roll. There we go. That's the one we want. We'll call it numbers. And combine it with text on screen. That's funny, the numbers change kind of colors too. How about we call this... Make sure I spell it right. Because what it really reminds me of is just graffiti at this point, because there's a bunch of different colors and stuff. We'll call it graffiti. How do I signify this as a completed corruption? I don't know. Usually I do little hyphens for components, but I forgot to do that. I'll just have to kind of remember that it is. That's probably my best bet. We can remove numbers, and now we have graffiti. This isn't quite Clown Vomit. If it was Clown Vomit, you couldn't see anything. Also, I think that no gla is actually no gladiator. Team no gladiator. Alright. Moving on. We can also re-roll this just to see what happens. Probably a lot of garbage on the screen. We can also combine all our existing corruptions together to see what happens. This is everything we've created so far. Which is wonderful. If you can call it that. Alright, moving on. Clearing history, blasting setting. We'll do this a couple more times. What happened here? It's like the bird just smashes into me from, from the top. And then his bird gets stuck. That was super sad. God. Alright, move along. Let's see. More text on screen there. I don't want to keep that one though. Survival. No survival for you. Okay, I think that is good. Now let's try a couple other things. So first we're going to start off by changing our blast type, which right now is a random type, which, given a random source address, change the value at that source address to be a value with between 0 and FF randomly. We can instead switch this to tilt types, so given a random source address, adjust the value at that location by adding or subtracting 1. And let's just give that a try, see if there's anything interesting or different that happens. Our intensity can be a little too low for this, since this is a little bit of a safer corruption, is what I'll call it. So let's up that to 200. We do get a lot more like garbage on the screen since there's so many things going on. For the most part, I'm not seeing anything I really want to keep. That one's not a bad one. Kinda like a tap dancing hunter. We can save that one, why not? Just have one from the tilt types. Okay, single member right, stash, and oh, what do we do there? Oh, stockpile. We'll call it tap dancing hunter. We'll see if we can mix that with anything a little bit later. Reroll. It's either he does it or not. It seems like. All right, clearing history, blasting sending, maybe a couple more times. Is there anything else here? It's nice audio. This looks kind of cool, but I want to keep this audio if it keeps going. It crashes, but maybe I'll make it last a little bit longer. No. Sound corruptions are tricky sometimes, though, where it could be a multitude of memory writes that create the effect. So you have to be careful when sanitizing it. I think the second's it's only momentarily, though. It doesn't persist for very long. It's just a nice sound, though. I kind of want to throw it on something. Send it to the stash. We'll call it Chime. Let's throw it with, I don't know. Oh, that was bad. We're definitely putting these two together. Tap Dancing Hunter and Speed Ostrich. Speed Ostrich. Remove that one, keep this other one, remove Tap Dancing Hunter. Let's put Chime in with this one too. No, it's too fast though. How about... Yeah, let's keep these two together. We'll call it Pal Nightmare. I still haven't thought of a clever name for that yet. We'll get there eventually. Alright. Oh, we forgot to reroll. Oh, too late now. I'm seeing a lot of text on screen, but it's in places where we either already have an effect or it's very minimal. That's the last one we could try rerolling this. So that's what would have happened if we rerolled it earlier. Not too interesting. Let's move on. So those are all tilt type corruptions. Usually a little bit safer to corrupt within, so you may do it for, say, musical corruptions, since music can be really finicky. But outside of that, not too much of a different effect, I guess. Let's switch back to random types. And actually, we're going to change engines. So right now we're using the Nightmare engine to create these effects. We're going to switch over to the Hell Genie engine, which we have a little bit of experience with. Instead of setting values, it makes it permanently keep that value, similar to Cheat Engine. That is limited by the amount of max cheats, which is currently 50, and I think that's a good amount. So let's start blasting the... Wrong with that? And we may see very similar effects to what we saw before. I like that sound. But it doesn't persist. Also kind of cool, but, well, like, maybe we can make the players more visible by sanitizing it. I doubt it, but we can try. Nope, seems like it is part of the corruption. So, let's move on. We try rerolling it. Nah. All the same. This one we're stuck to the roof. Oh, it's an awful sound effect. That's a cool looking effect. I'd like to keep this if I can. But I think this is definitely gonna be a crash. It looks like a crash to me. Yeah, that is unfortunate. That's very cool looking. I like that. Send it to the stash, try rerolling it. Nah, it's either gonna be... Either way, it's gonna be crash, so... Oh well, cool effect. Moving on. This one we got 2 birds. Now we're just drawing the bird twice. Huh. Keep that one on the screen. Funny. The platform's moving. There would be seen again. Oh, God. So many pterodactyls. Let's keep this one. I like this. We can call it pterodactyl trouble. You can kind of see the advantage of sanitizing corruptions here. Just by all the visuals and screen tears that we had before this corruption, those are all now removed with an individual component that we're looking for saved. And here we call this pterodactyl trouble. And also I'm going to save the stockpile just because I'm a little worried about losing it now. We'll call this Joust stockpile. Alright. Can't even land one. That game is over. Let's try. I almost got it there. Let's get that. It's very tricky to get them right there. I got one, but then missed the second one. All right, I like that corruption. Let's try re-rolling it. No effect other than her being still 3 on screen or no 3 on screen. Moving on. We can combine that one with how about Pink Terry? Hot. Still pterodactyl trouble I think works. But the P Terry wave is kinda nice to see. Maybe we should make that not a permanent effect. It doesn't necessarily need to be there permanently. It's kind of nice not to have it, actually. So let's adjust that from... We have 2 blast cheats here, interesting enough. Which one's the other blast cheat? Oh, it's the... Oh, that's right, we were using a cheat engine corruption. I forgot about that. What does this do? Oh, it's the color. Okay. That's why I named these things. So this one doesn't need to be a cheat engine corruption. This just needs to be a blast spike. It's so hard to avoid. Alright. Pterodactyl trouble. Remove the old one. And cool, I'm happy with this new one. We can remove Pink Terry. Alright. Clearing history and moving on. Looks like our ostrich is really excited. Really antsy. I think this goes hand in hand with the speed corruption though, unfortunately, because I'd like to keep that effect, but I think it's gonna be much slower. No, it's not terrible. Let's keep it. Alright, send it to our stash. We'll call it Excited Ostrich. Can we mix that with anything? Not speed. I don't like it with that one. We'll keep it with no green team for the time being. Let's combine those. No team green. Remove that one and remove. Do we want this with anything else? Nah. Doesn't fit well with that. Alright, move the other one. Ah, we forgot to reroll. Always forget that. Oh, well. I didn't think that would have had any effect anyway. We could try it, I guess, with... Which one would have it? The original is this one. Yeah. Alright, moving on. Fall right into the lava. There's that neat brown color effect again. We can't keep it though. this one I almost want to keep. That like that script piece is kind of nice looking. That drawn piece. Let's keep it. If we can. Might not be able to. Too long searching for the perfect half. Okay, that's one. Lock that. Okay, so these two are required. Put that on the stash, and let's see if this looks good. We'll call it script 2. Combine it with graffiti. No, it doesn't look good. I don't like that. Because I don't like how it messes with the text that used to be there and removes it. I like the numbers there instead. So we're going to remove this, unless we want to combine it with anything else. Nah, not particularly. It's not too interesting otherwise. Alright, we're removing it, and clearing history, and moving on. That buzzard's a little bit off. That's like a super lance, you see that? I know it's just one pallet on him, but it looks like a super lance. Okay. I think we're gonna move on. Because we still need to get to a couple other memory domains before we wrap up. And I'm starting to get to the wrapping up part. So let's now start messing with TIA registers. We're gonna keep it on Cheat Engine, which was a mistake, big mistake. Intensity of 10. I don't think any of these are gonna sound nice. Let me try not to sound for you guys. They're gonna kind of sound terrible like that. Oh. This one sounds nice. This one has like some bass to the wing flaps. So let's keep this. Okay. Call this one bass. Throw this one with put it with thy game is over. Combine those. Thy game is over. I also want to combine with someone else. Now that's about it. Let's remove it. And I forgot to reroll it. Shoot! Bad habit. That sounds like a bicycle. Nothing here I want to keep though, so let's move on. I think we're ready for a different memory domain. Let's start messing with those Maria registers. We're not going to use, I don't think Help Genie though. Let's switch back over to the Nightmare Engine. We'll use 50 for this. Screen is off center. That's kind of cool. There we go, that's exactly what I want. Okay, cool, so we have the brown sort of effects that I wanted, but now we can actually play it, which is awesome. So let's sanitize this. Oh, very weird way of sanitizing it. Okay. Single memory right, throw it on the stash, throw it on the stockpile and call it, what does this even look like? It's like Dark Joust. Actually, these two kind of fit together. We are not able to fall for some reason. I think this has to do with the, That's not good. I want to fall. This has to do with that bouncing effect that we have. Let's remove that. So, no green team. Open this in the blast editor. It's gonna be one of the Hell Genie ones. That one. Send this to the stash. Call this one No Team Green. Delete the old one. Now combine the green team with Dark Joust. Now this should be more playable. Yeah. I love the look of this. Like the guys are all goblins because they're green. Very neat. Dark Joust. We can get rid of no green team. And this is Dark Joust. And there we go. And no team, I like keeping that there the entire time, so let's keep it there. Alright, and moving on. Last end, Maria register. This looks like something they would have on like a technical console. Some ship commands. That looks neat. Some like screaming, like that's a corruption scream is what that is. Those things are also playable, which I haven't mentioned. Maybe we'll move around in any of the ones that are not a solid color. But you just can't see anything because of how jank it is, so. Let's knock down the intensity down to 20. We got really lucky with that Dark Joust one. Screen's off center again. Kind of in a cool way, but nothing I want to keep. Could almost make that one work with Dark Joust, but it would just remove from the effect, I think. There's that one again. Very nice. Bit of the title screen in this one. You can see the Joust text in the center. flashing effect. That's that's kind of pretty. I may keep that. That might be another one of my notification ones. Notification text. I'll put a note for it there. Let's even, I'm gonna even throw on stockpile and call it. Not for stockpile. Nope. Not stock. Notification text. I'll do something like that. Because I may want to keep that later on. Alright, moving along. Shoot, I might even do custom ones for every type of alert I have. Because you can just reroll that. No problem. And then take out the black. Ooh, that sounded nice. Take out the black part of it. Switch it to transparency. Alpha. Alright, I think that is all we're going to see on the radar registers. Let's move on to 652 RAM, which didn't have any effects. Let's move on to RAM block. This one kind of freaked out. Okay, let's see this again. Oh, for a second. Oh, because we hit enter, that's why. It was at the title screen. This is an intense place to corrupt for only 20 memory writes. Oh, jumping's, well, we're gone now. But jumping was kind of broken. Alright. Here's the very slow one, which I don't want to keep. Because no one wants to move slow. Everyone's got to go fast. Let's do... how about Houdini? Oh, no. That's it much more intensely. Do we create lag? What are we doing? What is this? That's weird. Those platforms aren't supposed to be doing that. I can't hit play. Stuck on the demo. Jesus. Well, I don't think we're gonna get anything else out of these. We can try some more Nightmare Engine 50 intensity. I'm sorry, what was that? What are those buzzards? They're a trio. Okay, let's try RAM block 1. That's a cool color. Look at that. Nice color. Let's keep that. Let's put that in something. Purple player, we'll put it with, I think Dark Joust had purple? No. Graffiti had purple. No, it didn't. Pal Nightmare had purple. Unfortunately, I can't mix those two. That would mix these two, just to put it somewhere. Speed. Ostrich. Purple player, remove that. Alright, moving on. This is just really pretty to look at. Let's keep this one too. This one actually looks more like Dark Joust than the other one. Okay, so it's either white or red or both. I want to try to keep both. There we go. So these two are the ones we're looking for. Good. Alright, send that to the stash. Throw in the stockpile, we'll call it Blood Rock. And there's another one we already had with this effect. It was Graffiti where we originally had it. This, I don't want to keep though, I want to put it with something else. Those two don't fit together. Dark Joust, it kind of fits together. I kind of like the brown better though, but no, let's keep it red. Let's put these two together. It's more visible. So we'll call this one Dark Joust. We can mix these two together. We can call this Purgatory. I need to know how to spell that. Purgatory. Purgatory. That game's over. I think we can remove that now. Is there anything else we can mix Blood Rock with? Nah. That is good to go with that. We have Dark Joust. Direct Trouble. Okay. Moving on. Lots of neat colors here. This is like where all the colors are stored, I feel like. Okay, lastly, let's mess with system bus a little bit. Minis it up our intensity, it looks like. Let's bring it up to 200. I've had good results of this in the past. About 500 intensity. Might be a little too far. Yeah. Oh no, we're doing alright. Okay, let's give tilt types a try, but we're gonna do intensity of 1000. Might be too much for it. I think it is. Let's knock it back to 600. I don't see anything else I like, so I think we're ready to call it for the night. Let's quickly combine anything else that we might want to keep. Ostrich, Speed Ostrich and Ostrich Run. I don't want to keep Ostrich Run, because all it is just breaking. Not too interesting, can't really play for too long. Speed Ostrich will keep. Palette Nightmare, I like, but I want a different name for it. I don't know what we're gonna name it. I'll come back to that. Then we have Graffiti, where everything on screen just looks like it's been graffitied up. And given that I've been playing way too much Jet Set radio music, kind of fitting. We have Purgatory. That game is over. We get some bass in the background anytime you flap, and all the rocks are covered in red. And then we have Pterodactyl Trouble, where 3 pterodactyls are on the screen. The most difficult enemy of this game, and you get 3 of them to deal with. And then lastly, we have Dark Joust, which was kind of a cool barcode looking effect that I really enjoyed, and we added some red coloration to that to have Dark Joust. And those were our corruptions of the evening. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to save that stockpile. I also do have another one here that I may use as notification text later. For the time being, I'm going to leave it, but that is the stockpile for Joust on the Atari 7800, which I think we got a pretty good range of various corruptions that you can create out of it. If you went through any further, you probably have to go through with a fine-tooth comb, but find some new ones. But yeah, let's pull some music here. About... I've already played this before. Oh, it's starting automatically. Yeah, none of these are long enough. How about... We'll do that. And we'll switch scenes here. And get ready to host someone. We're gonna be hosting someone probably in retro. I'll peek around and see who's available. And then we'll switch over.
Don't worry, do your best. Picnic even feels so good. 素敵な afternoon. プラチナみんな yeah. 固めて転がす I love you いつでも smile for you 君だけにラム Hey so 頑張らなくちゃ Compilation
Alright, I got someone to host here, which took me way too long. But we'll go and switch over to them. Thank you for everyone who was able to stop by tonight. I'll be corrupting again tomorrow, most likely. Around the same time. Depends. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.